All right, that was wraps on game 3 of Lakers Timberwolves. I just finished watching that, and I just wanted to sit down and just talk about some general playoff stuff. We're about a week into the playoffs, and I don't think I've recorded in like 3 or 4 days. So I just want to get some takes off about every series, all the little interesting things that are happening, everything that I'm noticing from the playoffs. If you guys like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers at some point. Go follow the Twitch and the Discord down below. And let's talk about the playoffs, man. Yeah, so a lot of interesting storylines, a lot of stuff that I was proven right about, a lot of stuff I was proven wrong about. I guess I did just finish watching the Lakers game, so we can talk about that first. So a couple things that the Lakers did change a little bit. They did bring Jordan Goodwin into this series. I sort of expected that. And LeBron went really crazy in this one. He got out and hit a ton of threes in the fourth quarter. He hit 3 in a row at one point and then just inexplicably bobbled the ball on the next possession. Honestly, the Lakers offense, just the size that Minnesota can throw at them at the perimeter has really, I think, bothered them in a real way. Even though Luka can still get his against Jaden McDaniels every now and then, that is still a pretty good one-on-one matchup. Luka still likes to go at Rudy Gobert, even though he is theoretically a rim deterrent. When Luka gets a screen and he's going downhill, like, it's curtains for Minnesota's defense because, Gobert's just dropped back so far in the paint that it doesn't matter. Jackson Hayes is virtually non-existent at this point in the series. He is playing 10 minutes or less in all these games, so they start him and basically he gets relegated to the bench for the rest of it. And honestly, I think that's the right move for the Lakers. Already, they've got serious defensive limitations when they've got Luka, LeBron, and Austin Reeves on the floor at the same time. And even though Jackson Hayes is not necessarily a bad defender in a vacuum, Minnesota can do a bunch of things to sort of exploit the fact that he's a big man and he fouls a lot and he's just not super polished. And I honestly just think that what I was saying earlier in the series is going to end up being true. That Minnesota's defense is going to be significantly better than LA's, and the offensive gap will be close enough that Minnesota should be able to pull this out. You'll get a big game from Jaden McDaniels every now and then. Dante DiVincenzo popped at the start of the fourth quarter. Those little things really help them, whereas the Lakers just don't really have the depth. Even though, yeah, they did bring Jordan Goodwin into this one, I don't think he'd be getting minutes in the Minnesota Timberwolves rotation. Yeah, honestly, I do feel pretty good about Minnesota winning this series still, even though they don't have the best player in it. There are some adjustments LA can make, I'm sure, and maybe we'll see JJ pull out some crazy shit in game 4, and they did beat the brakes off of them in game 2. But honestly, what I think we learned most from this first 3 games for most of these teams of the playoffs is that you need 2 games, even 3, to figure out where every team is really at. You cannot draw conclusions from the first game, and that was proven in a bunch of series. Case in point, Detroit versus New York, which has started to really flip narratively in the direction of the Pistons. Cade Cunningham proved me wrong, bro. I was very certain that Cade Cunningham was not going to have a very good playoffs, and it wasn't that he didn't have the ability to do so. And this is sort of a stupid point I'm gonna make, but Cade doesn't really have the sort of leadership sort of qualities that gave me the idea that he has this supreme confidence that was just going to be built in once he got into the playoffs. I figured just the mental of it would sort of hinder him a lot more, but man, he got to his spots in game 2. I didn't get to see most of game 2. I missed most of game 2, but even down the stretch of that one, he had a really nice lob to Jalen Duren. He just wrapped things up very calmly for them. New York is in trouble here, and there's going to be a lot of interesting conversations had about this team, just the amount of wear and tear they've put on their wings. I think their depth is extremely limiting. And yeah, I mean, honestly, I didn't really get to watch most of game 2 or 3, unfortunately. But Cade Cunningham flipping the script in game 2 and game 3 of the series really sort of surprised me in a meaningful way. And I think if they get better shooting luck from Malik Beasley and Tim Hardaway in the rest of the series, Detroit can certainly win. Because, there's a world right now where they're up 2-1 in this series, and that's not even crazy to say. Another guy who really flipped things positively later in the playoffs was Jalen Green. Game 2, he went absolutely ballistic. hit a ton of threes, a ton of tough shots, just played with supreme confidence and actually put up the results. You know, Jalen Green always plays with that swagger. He thinks he's the number one option. He thinks he's that bitch. The problem is, if like you have to play well if you're gonna take the sort of shots that Jalen Green does, and when they go in, his game looks great. You sort of see the blueprint for what he can be, and if he could just do this more consistently, then you would understand why Houston gave him like a sort of max contract. Dude, what do you even call Jalen Green's contract? It's like a 4-year, $150 million. It's a weird number. Yeah, he was really good in that game. Jimmy Butler got hurt, unfortunately. Just a really weird set of circumstances. So much physicality in that series and so much beef. I think that was totally accidental, though. I think Amen Thompson, like, clipped him while he was going up for a rebound or something. And he just, dude, he broke his ass. Like, it's such an UNC status injury, but Jimmy Butler broke his ass. And here we are. The Warriors will probably be without him in Game 3, I imagine, although it's possible he comes back. And depending on his status, you know, it might be curtains for them, because if the Rockets can continue their momentum from Game 2, which was an absolutely huge factor for them, and the Warriors are, I believe, an equally successful team at home as they are on the road, so they don't really necessarily get a big advantage at home. So we'll see. Jonathan Kuminga ended up getting some minutes. Oh, bro, Jonathan Kuminga, man. I don't want to talk about the Kuminga minutes. I'm not giving up on him, but his stock did not improve after having a very mediocre game, and we'll see if Steve Kerr trusts him again. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't bank on it if they don't have, you know, injury problems. But, you know, he's going to look really good in, like, a Charlotte Hornets or a Washington Wizards jersey next year. That's all I'm going to say. And then, like, I mean, other than that, like, dude, probably the biggest heavyweight matchup series so far has been Clippers-Nuggets. I'll get to that last. Just really quick, wanted to touch on OKC-Memphis. Holy shit, this series is crazy. This series just shows that there's levels to this shit, man. Memphis was nearly a 50-win team this year, and I understand that Memphis from the last, like, 2 months has been, like, literally bad at basketball, and they've kind of constantly got injuries, and they fire their head coach right before the playoffs. So really, like, on aggregate, this team is probably closer to, like, the Sacramento Kings right now than they are, like, the LA Clippers. But, like, still, this Memphis team is not, like, a bad basketball team per se, and after beating the shit out of them in games 1 and 2, like, Memphis got just their ass handed to them in game 1. Shout out Marvin Bagley for having a legacy game, and they go up 30 points on OKC in game 3, 29 or 30 points at half, and even with that lead, you could still tell that OKC was not concerned and that they were gonna win the game. It's like, when you are so good, when you're so superior to your opponent, that a 30-point lead doesn't feel concerning. Like, you can just tell, like, on a play-by-play basis, their size, their dribble penetration, their ridiculous, suffocating defense that makes the other team look like the fucking JV squad. Those things put together make this OKC team just so dominant. And when Chet Holmgren's hitting his threes, when he's warping the defense like that, that's going to be the scariest thing, when the league's going to have to intervene and take away some shit from this team in the next few years. Because if Chet Holmgren becomes the player that he can be, that just adds another dimension to a 68-win team now. And they could go for 70 next year. They could go for 75. I don't care. Like, they went down 29 points, and I was still certain they were going to win the game. Memphis has had no control on this series whatsoever. It's a shame Ja went down, it really is. But honestly, it's like, even if this, it doesn't matter. It's 3-0. It's wraps. Scottie Pippen at the end of that game, Memphis is down 3 and they need a bucket. Scottie Pippen faces up Alex Caruso, who played like 11 minutes a game in the regular season. This is like their end of the bench, 5 points a game backup point guard. Second team all defense level player, by the way. He stares down Scottie Pippen and just grabs the ball out of his fucking hands. Just takes it from him like he's a child. Like, that's literally some little bro shit. And And Alex Caruso's doing that in the playoffs at a critical juncture in Game 3. Like a series-deciding game. Shea was much better in Game 3 as well. And you know, that just shows that, like, there's levels to this shit, man. Shea can be popping, the rest of the team can be off, and it doesn't matter because on aggregate, this OKC team is just so good. And honestly, the only team that I think can really match them is this Clippers team, who, if you look at them on aggregate, like right now, we're talking about Ivica Zubac making like, what, Zubats? Ivica? No, it's Ivica Zubac. They might have 4 All-Stars on aggregate if you look at this team. If you really squint, if you try to give this team a good case, like Norman Powell was in contention to make the All-Star team. Kawhi Leonard has been, you know, MVP caliber the first 3 games. Zubats is being flirted around making 3rd team All-NBA. I think Kirk Goldsberry voted him 3rd team All-NBA. Not even crazy to say with the level of defense he's been playing, even though Joker is still getting his in this series. And then James Harden's been excellent. Like, I understand Norman Powell hasn't been great so far, but, like, still in theory, this team has, like, a ridiculous core 4. They've got more than enough depth for a playoff rotation. The fact that Amir Coffey's not getting into the game really goes to show you that, like, this team is pretty good, because I like Amir Coffey quite a bit. Denver is just worn out, man. Like, Michael Porter Jr. is playing with, like, a really bad shoulder injury. This has probably been underreported, but Michael Porter Jr. has, like, a grade 2 AC joint sprain. That is, like, a 3+ week recovery injury, I'm pretty sure. Like, that's an injury that would probably keep MPJ out for like a month in the regular season, I'm pretty sure. And he's playing with that right now. He's got like this brace for his drop foot. Like, bro, Michael Porter Jr. is walking around like strapped together with like duct tape and like stitches right now. Like, he's barely holding it together. Jamal Murray is actually, I think, playing all right in this series. He's responding pretty well to the physicality by just, you know, doing his Jamal Murray playoff thing. But this Denver team has absolutely no depth. Their depth is so bad, especially at the 5, that DeAndre Jordan's getting in the game, which is hilarious considering all the money they gave to Zeke Naji by a guy who's now no longer employed by them, for a coach who hated him, who's also no longer employed by him. They seemed really motivated to get this playoffs going for David Adelman, and I just don't think he has the right pieces to work with. I've liked the Peyton Watson minutes, but his shot creation's not great. Russell Westbrook is a fucking... Oh my god. The Russell Westbrook stuff it's crazy to watch him from possession to possession, because it's like a fucking mystery box every time. You never know what you're going to get with this kid. And that can sometimes work in their benefit, but I think when the going gets tough, like this team is not going to be doing well winning a series relying on Russell Westbrook to finish games. And Kawhi motherfucking Leonard, bro. Oh my god. Kawhi Leonard is so good at basketball. Kawhi Leonard is so good at basketball, bro. Capital B. His mid-range game the other night, like, what was it, 14 of 17 or 17 of 19 from the floor or some bananas shit like that. Took like no free throws, and just, it doesn't matter who you put on him. He can outsize any wing. His strength, his physicality, his technique, just the way he gets to his spots, there's no good matchup for him because he's so strong, and he's still got enough athleticism with the right amount of skill that he can get to his spots effortlessly, and it makes him so dangerous. And there's just levels to this shit, man. Like, Jokic has been awesome in this series still. He hasn't been MVP caliber necessarily, but by and large, he still completely warps the shit out of the defense as soon as he steps onto the court. And this team doesn't tread water when he's gone. They got beaten up so bad in Game 3, though, that it didn't really matter. I mean, Game 2, he played 43 minutes. The minutes decline is so palpable in Game 3 because Denver just got the shit kicked out of them. This was another game I missed, but just what everyone's talking about this Denver series, and you could see it in the first 2 games, is that, you know, Jokic has to really work for his baskets on every play. He's getting tired. He's missing free throws. Just, he doesn't have, you know, a reliable supporting cast. And I think this Clippers team, with the length that they have, they can go small, they can go super sized with, you know, Zubac and a bunch of wings who can sort of make plays. They have a ton of versatility in that 8-man rotation. We'll see how much Ben Simmons really matters in the later rounds. That's sort of a wild card for them. I'm really not inclined to believe in Ben Simmons because at this point his back is just completely given out on him. He's just sort of walking around out there. He's still got so much natural athleticism and ability that he's still decent, but I don't know. I think the Clippers are going to the conference semis, and I really don't see how Denver's going to put up much of a fight for the rest of the series. I think the Clippers are probably going to win this in 6. They're going to win Game 4. They're going to go back to Denver. Denver will put it all on the line in Game 5, and then Game 6, the Clippers will finish them off. And we're going to basically get the de facto conference finals between OKC and the Clippers in round 2. Then other than that, man, like that's pretty much the playoffs so far. Oh my god, I didn't even talk about Indiana and Milwaukee. Milwaukee fortunately won tonight, but they've still got a ton of problems that cannot be easily addressed. The perimeter defense is still an issue. The transition defense is still an issue. Giannis still has to be an aircraft carrier for them to win these games. And the final score looks really good for them, and they did beat the shit out of Indiana in the second half. And I also didn't talk about Boston. Orlando's offense is cooked. They've got a serious problem to work out between Wagner and Banchero. It might be too early for me to say this, but they might have to pick one, or they have to get a high level playmaking, shot creating, scoring guard to pair with these two, because otherwise Orlando's going to be faced with a real issue. Their two best players liking to score in the same way and then also not being able to shoot threes. It's just a problem. Celtics are going to be fine for the rest of the playoffs. I'm really not worried about the Tatum injury. Jaylen Brown's looked incredible so far. That's all I've got on the playoffs for real, though. And if you guys like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. We're trying to 1,000 subscribers at some point. I will try to do daily uploads. I cannot guarantee it, but I'm pretty sure that like once I get home, it won't be an issue. I will catch you guys in the next one, though. Cue that music.